Hello, everyone. I'm Lonnie,
I'm Amberlicious.
and this is Untitled Nerd Network's WandaVision review. What is this?
Uh,
I know this is episode 4.
yeah, we interrupt this program.
Yes,
It's
and
such a good title.
oh my god,
I know, it's a lot to process.
like where do you even begin? I feel like we should have.
This episode starts off right when everybody comes back after they fix everything. Okay.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that was like some emotional stuff to watch because it takes place in a hospital. And me personally, I never considered what kind of effect that would have on a hospital to have all those people disappear and then reappear into the same place years later.
Yeah.
It's Geraldine, the woman who played Geraldine. That's not her real name. What is her real name?
Monica
Monica
Rambeau.
Right. She appears back in the hospital. Apparently, her mother had a surgery to remove cancer, and then when she woke up, she wasn't there. But the surgery had went well. Da da da. She goes in there and she into the hallway and she's trying to find mom, trying to talk to a doctor. And of course, it's chaos. Here, somebody said they're all coming back, and like it's crazy. It's weird. Could you imagine? Like there were probably people having surgery, like the patient.
Oh my god! Don't even.
No, that explains the chaos, and that is why I was like so just. I literally almost cried at that scene because that is a very intense feeling. I just can't imagine.
Or what about the people who were in an airplane when it happened and then they just plummet to the ground?
Or could you imagine what if you were giving birth? Like, what if you were giving birth and then
yeah.
I don't know, maybe you gave birth to your baby and then it disintegrated. Or the mother disintegrated. Or,
oh my god!
I mean, there's so many possible scenarios.
It had to have happened. It had to have happened.
Yeah.
Just the law of averages with how many billions of people on the planet, like that had to happen.
Yeah, it happened.
Like, I mean, there were there were always discussions about oh, what about the people who were on a cruise out in the middle of the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
or what about the people who were
you never thought something hospital.
Yeah, and yeah, that's freaking crazy.
And it's like that's almost worse to think about than Rick waking up in the hospital, Walking Dead.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, she finds the doctor that did the surgery, and the doctor's like, "Look, I know this is a lot to understand right now, but your mom passed away 3 years ago, and this was 2 years ago after you know."
Yeah.
And so after that, she just goes back to her job because that's all she knows.
Yeah.
And apparently, she worked for Sword. Correct.
Yes.
And then, so
I'm sure. Yeah, I guess given her connection to Captain Marvel and all that, because if I'm not mistaken, she was either Air Force or retired Air Force in the Captain Marvel movie.
I think she was retired Air Force. Weren't they Air Force buddies?
Yeah.
No, and that's how she knew her.
That was in like the mid '90s. Like, let's just say '95.
That sounds about right.
That was '95, and she was retired from. I mean, hell, that would put her at 60 years old or something like that. Yeah. I mean, because she had to have been at least 30 during Captain Marvel.
Right. Was that her or was that
her mom?
Her mom. I'm willing to bet that it was her mother. You Google it to make sure we're right. But her mother had kids.
So Monica's the little girl.
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Monica's the little girl.
I got totally thrown off on that.
Yeah, once you said the age and shit, like I was like, wait a minute, okay, that was probably her mother.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Her mother had cancer, and then she died a few years later because back, that
Yeah.
that makes sense. And it makes sense that she would,
He,
follow in the footsteps. You know what I
I
mean?
wonder if Carol Danvers spent any time with her in that amount of time, or if she was off in space. Yeah, that sucks. Um,
But her mother had made a rule that anybody that reappeared after that had to stay on the ground, didn't go in space.
yeah,
Upset about it, but the guy was like, you know what? The silver lining to that is your mom had all the faith that you would come back,
yeah.
and you would just come back here.
Like, just in a nutshell, this episode went away from the sitcom format and shows us what
What's going
happened
on.
outside of this, and they explain everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like finally having it explained and not having any questions is almost scarier than having the questions.
Right.
Because
well,
now
you still have more questions. It raises different questions.
Yeah.
Because, and y'all, we've already spoiled a lot, but we're fixing to really spoil something.
Yeah.
Like, when everybody shows up to, like, look for these missing people, turns out it's a whole missing town.
Yeah.
And, the guy that Monica meets up with, the other, detective or whoever he is, like, something's telling me not to go in there. And so they tried flying a drone, and it disappeared. And that was the drone in the episode that Wanda found. And then Monica tries to see if she can touch it, and it sucks her in. And because it sucked her in, they set up this, like, not really military, it's sword. They set up a base to try and figure out, hey, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
And God, it's just so intense. They send the man in the suit because it's the radiation levels, but they're not like high enough to hurt anybody.
Yeah, but they don't know what it might be like inside.
Right, but they don't. And what's the girl's name that figured it out? Television signal.
Crap. She's the same lady from the Thor movie. She was Jane Foster's intern.
Yeah.
And so I'll pull it up, but yeah, she's turning into a she's turning into a very important part of this
series.
Like this whole I think I don't know. I think Wanda has figured out how to, or I don't think she's figured it out. I think she's just done it. She's basically changing reality now.
Right.
And
she's basically created her own reality because she absolutely cannot handle what really happened.
Yes.
She'd already lost her brother to Ultron, and then to lose Vision too. Like it was too much, and then the snap, and so she's basically created this own thing. Like Monica tells them that when she gets ejected from that reality.
Yeah.
And then it shows Wanda fixing everything because Wanda literally shoved her out.
You were given the impression like she teleported her or something.
No, she didn't.
I mean in the previous episode.
Yeah, in the previous episode, yeah. And then it turns out she really shoved her out with her power.
Yeah, she pushed her. She just went in a beeline straight for the exit, basically. Mm-hmm. Pushed her through like 4 buildings and a fence. I was like, dear God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was Darcy Lewis is her name.
Okay.
The intern who's now going into work, do a little bit of work for Sword. Yeah, she finds the signal and come to find out it's broadcasting as a sitcom, and I'm just like, whoa, my God.
Like, isn't Vision dead? And this, that, and this. And it does show, like, after Wanda pushes Monica out of the, I don't know what you would call it, the realm or whatever.
Yeah. Westview.
Vision comes in, and she looks at him, and she sees his dead body.
Yeah.
And so she's looking real shocked, and he's like, "What's wrong?" Then she fixes it, and then she's like, "No, okay." You know?
That makes me think, they're seeing a lot of these characters in the sitcom, and they're matching them up with missing people. So that tells me that she couldn't just create.
No, she had to take an actual town and.
Okay, so if she's got Vision, does that mean she literally has Vision's dead body puppeting around?
I doubt that.
Because she saw him as dead Vision. So I'm wondering, was that her just feeling the...
I think it was because her reality had been invaded, the reality she created. So therefore, it was broken down a little. It was watered down.
Yeah.
That's why it turned to color. Now they're slowly breaking in. And that's changing her mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, she just had to think really hard about it and be like, no, this is the way it is. She's formed so much barriers about what actually happened.
Yeah.
That literally they're just going to have to layer by layer to get to her.
Yeah, so she's basically, just lost it at this point.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. It's what it's come down to. I really think, because she has her powers and the way she is, this is what schizophrenia is like for her.
Oh, God.
Because that's what the definition of schizophrenia is, the splitting of the mind. And it happens because you cannot deal with reality.
And somebody with her power that has it is going to really screw some stuff up.
Right.
Yeah, but on top of all that, I just love seeing, a lot of the real world, I feel like, there's been so much attention, to both the Spider-Man movie and Endgame that we haven't really seen the world outside of a handful of characters over the last couple of movies.
Nice to see real world characters, not real world characters, regular characters, not superhero perspectives.
Yeah.
Just your common people and how it affected them.
There's been a rumor going around for a while, and there's nothing concrete about it. But that once they ended Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that they may be getting ready to make Agents of S.W.O.R.D. show, like on Disney Plus or on ABC or something like that. I think that would be freaking amazing. I would watch that. especially after
this.
I'm hoping that maybe this episode was maybe like a launching for a series down the road. That'd be pretty neat. I don't really know how next episode's going to be.
I don't either.
I wonder if they're going to be,
back in the sitcom, or if they're going to continue with this.
Yeah.
And discuss it more now that Monica's out of the realm.
Yeah, I'm good with anything, or it could go back and forth.
That was her last. That was literally the end of the show. She was like, "It's Wanda. She's controlling it all."
Yeah.
And she is.
That's got to freak some people out. Then it makes you wonder, hey, maybe we might need to not do this ourselves. Maybe we need to call on some people who can kick some ass, you know?
Or maybe even just kind of talk to her. You know what I mean? Because when it comes to somebody who's going through something like that, you don't want to use brute force automatically. You kind of want to talk to them, kind of talk them down.
Monica tried. But
no, I don't think she really tried.
Wanda didn't know her. That was the thing. She was a stranger.
She didn't know her. And then she was like, she asked that question of, her brother was killed by Ultron.
That's not a good way to lead in.
No, why would she knows that. Why would she even ask that? It's like she would ask something else. I don't know. she went about it completely the wrong way.
You could tell that like hostage negotiation and people skills are not her number one.
And that's true. That is true. She's but definitely not her mother's daughter. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like sitting here with an ice pack on my back and like it started hurting again, so I'm just like, oh god. But yeah, so reviews on this episode. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, this episode gets an 11. This is a hard 11. This is easily one of the top 3 episodes of Marvel television I've ever seen in my life. So like there's really this is perfect.
Yeah.
This episode could not have been any better to the point where we're gonna watch it again before the end of the day. So
I give it an 11 too. Yeah. It was freaking awesome.
Because if you gave it anything other than an 11, we were about to start a really deep conversation as to why.
Yeah, no, this definitely gets an 11. Like this is like top tier Marvel movie quality.
Yes, not only that, but the first 2 episodes will probably play so much better now that you know what the hell's going on. And it was just those questions, and you know, you had a lot of.
That's how they hooked you, though.
Yeah, online, a lot of people were complaining about the first 2 episodes, and anybody who's seen a Marvel movie or seen a Marvel TV show knows, hey, if they seem like they suck right now, give them a little bit. It's gonna pay off eventually.
Right? Yeah, Marvel is famous for slow burns.
Yeah.
Like
really. Thanos, you know, it took them, 6 years to get to Thanos.
Right.
Well, no. I think Avengers came out in like 2012. And then Endgame release, or Infinity War released in 16? 17, 18? 17.
17.
Yeah. 18. It was 2018.
Yeah.
And then the other movies came out in 2019, and then we never had another movie again. So, but yeah, this episode, and I can already see now that Wanda has gotten this much more powerful, somehow or the other, this is my new theory as to how this is going to end. She's already lost it. And if she has to lose Vision again, something's going to happen, and those babies are going to disappear. And she is gonna lose her shit.
Yeah, she's
like
really
you've never. It's gonna be a very high budget scene. I'll just go ahead and say it. And that is what's gonna lead into the Doctor Strange multiverse thing, because she is gonna fuck reality. That's exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not gonna be a town. She's gonna do the whole freaking existence, and she's gonna screw it up, and that's where the movie's gonna lead into. Like I can already tell you. I
feel so bad for her.
like Black Widow takes place in the past, so they don't have to worry about that. That Eternals movie, nothing saying that in the post-credits scene they can't do reality is, splintered reality or something, because it's kind of like how they did it in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Remember, because like Infinity War had already happened, and then at the very, very end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, you find out that it was kind of happened concurrently,
right? Yeah,
with Infinity War, and then, everybody vanishes.
That was scary. They vanished, and
he was stuck in the quantum realm. This was that opening scene. It took me about 10 seconds to figure out what the hell's going on. Because to begin with, I thought she was in some kind of virtual reality program or something like that. It was like some kind of effect. And then I was like, oh, no.
I remember this.
Yeah, that's like the reverse of the snap. Yeah. Everybody, and once you see the chaos, you realize, oh, shit, that's what it is.
It's so intense.
So, yeah, I'm like, oh, God. Yeah, definitely
that was as intense watching everybody disappear in that path.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They did this right here, that scene is what we needed, because they kind of addressed it a little bit at the beginning of the Spider-Man movie. Like they had they showed it was like a school news broadcast where they were showing like clips from a basketball game where I think it was like the basketball team appeared playing while the band was playing.
Yeah.
And everybody's like running into each other. And but that was all we got to see, and it was like a low quality, you know, kind of home movie type thing. And you know, they
show
did it
what happened
just to explain it. And then this was what I've been wanting to see. You know how like, you know, the complaint I've had about zombie movies and end of the world movies forever is that it starts and then suddenly they skip till after it's over.
Yeah.
This was the kind of shit that I like to see, where you get to see what happened when everybody reappeared, and it's just, it felt good to finally get that look at it. So anyway, that's it. Yeah, 11's perfect episode, and across the board. So yeah, I'm gonna go watch it again. All right. Anyway, I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amberlicious,
and we are Untitled Nerd Network. This is our episode 4 review of WandaVision. Best episode ever.